Coach, first week of the season. Tell me about fall camp. What are some of the characteristics that you've seen that are already evident in your team?
It goes so fast. Number one, it's just the brotherhood. There's a conviction. I mean, we always talk about how we do things completely different than most programs, and it's evident just how the brotherhood of all the different positions hanging out with each other, just the different guys, different grade levels hanging out with each other. So they laugh with each other quite a bit. They have a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of leadership. I think a senior class with a lot of four-year seniors that have been here, four-year lettermen, excuse me. You'll see that leadership come through. And I think with that leadership now you see there's a real sense of conviction about who we are as a university, who we are as a team, and then also what we want to accomplish this fall.
Coach over here. Talk about some of the position battles. What kind of groups or individuals stood out so far in your preseason?
You know, there's always a lot of competition within our whole team, and so even the guys that came in penciled in as starters have had to show that they still need to remain in that position. But one particular group that really stood out was on our defensive line position. I think we're a solid two deep now. And so those guys got a chance to see that there's a lot of good competition, and that if they weren't bringing their best game every day in camp, that the depth chart will move. And so I saw quite a bit of competition there. The other one would be on offensive line. You know, that offensive line has got they've got some holes to fill with the graduation of players, but then also just the conviction that they have to become what they believe is just a real dominant O-line. And so they're young. They're a younger group, but they're physical. They're very athletic. And I got a chance to see them go to work every single day and compete with each other. So, but after that, I'm really proud of just the entire team as a whole. What they did to just to say we're going to constantly compete with each other despite the circumstances every single day. We've had a very hot camp, a very hot camp. There were some days out there like, wow, this is unusually hot. So they responded well to the heat, though. So I think that goes back to the beginning, is that they love being with each other, love the game of football, and they're just proud to have this moment.
And Coach, you got a full season of D2 play under your belt. What did you take from last year that you bring into this year and your second year? What things did you learn about what D2 play is like?
Yeah, it's very good football, very good football. And our GNAC conference one is just every single week you are going to have your hands full with some amazing talent, the size of the athlete. There's a tremendous amount of focus that has to go into preparation every week. And so I think it was definitely, if you look back, we have all the enthusiasm in the world going into becoming Division II last season. But then there's a reality check, too. It's that, okay, well, there's a reason it's different. And we're very proud of that now we're a part of it. And so, I think our guys will learn quite a bit that there is no gimme game ever. And so we're happy to play the game.
Coach, can you name some players who may have stood out or surprised you from what you've seen so far and what you expect from them entering the season?
Yeah. I'd say this fall, Lance Barker's done an amazing job at center. I mean, we knew he'd be a solid guy coming in. He's got a lot of leadership abilities and he's got a lot of experience, but he has done a very good job of not only doing well at this position, but adding that leadership that you need from your life when you have a younger offensive line. The other guy that stood out this fall so far is having Tanner Henry come back, and then you see a more mature Mike Martins. Those two have done a very good job in the receiving corps, providing leadership of what our core values are, but also leadership in how hard they play. I can't remember one camp practice that they weren't in a rep that they were supposed to be in. I mean, they never had to take a rep off. They're in there, provide that leadership that you want from them, and so that did a lot for where his offense is at. Looking at our running back core, we've got a solid young man coming back in Terrell Watson, but you see a guy like Ronald Douglas, who having had a spring under his belt of track, he's running in the 10s with his 100 time. I mean, he's a fast dude. His blocking has gotten so much better. I think he's a real threat. And when he gets in open space, he can go. On the defensive side, one of the guys that I'd say three guys particularly that just provided that real leadership that you want is in Sean Barber, Ethan Danielson, and Jake Henderson. guys who have been in our whole program. They understand what we want to do. They understand what our dreams are. They understand what the core values are. They understand how hard this game is, and so they've prepared themselves very well. They're taking the leadership of the defense on their shoulders. They've done an outstanding job that way of moving forward. So, but then I go back to the whole D line, the group as a defensive line as a whole. They're ready to go. They're hungry, and there's leadership oozing out of them. But there's also a great anticipation for those guys to get on the field.
Coach, got a question in from San Gabriel Valley Tribune. What are your expectations out of this group for the season?
Well, you expect just to play your first game as best as you can. We just want to be the best us, and I think we believe that if we're the best us, we'll be victorious in the end. But right now, I think any team in the country, you saw college football this last week. Everybody's got hopes and dreams, but when you play the real game, you get to see where you're at. And so what we want to do and accomplish with us right now on the very forefront is just be the very best us. And we've employed certain techniques, we employ certain schemes. What we want to be able to see out of the game is that our guys truly own it. They have that unconscious competence about themselves, and when they play the game, they're playing fast, they're playing with fun, they know the checks, they know who we are. After that, we just take the next week, one time, one play, one game at a time. I know it's cliche, but there's so much truth to it, and that's why coaches always talk about it, because you can't look ahead, and matter of fact, you can't even look past just today. So we just want to win today with all the preparation, the weight room we have, with the practice we have, and as this journey goes on, and as I look back in history, we'll reflect on it with a lot of great fond memories if we were the best us we can be. And that's every day laying it out there.
And you talk about the importance of getting off to a strong start. What are your expectations for your Week 1 matchup against Grand Valley State?
Yeah, we got Godzilla by the tail, don't we? I mean, that's a heck of a program. It is what it is. So they're Grand Valley. So, our expectations for it goes back. Hey, let's enjoy the moment. Let's enjoy everything that they've done well as far as their attendance, their stadium. We get a chance to play college football this Saturday, and so we're so fired up for that. The thing I'd say is, as far as our guys go, and with the matchup of the amazing opponent you have, is nothing but respect for them. I mean, they're a solid football program, and they've proven that. They've earned that respect, and so you get a chance to go play against the best, and you get to find out who we are.
How hungry are your players? I mean, so much time playing against each other. How excited are they to actually play against someone else and go hit someone else?
I'd say, it's any team in the country gets so tired of banging on each other at this point. They just want to play somebody else. They want to play the game. It's amazing. You have 11 opportunities that you know of right now that you put in so many hours. I mean, essentially every game's 3 hours on average. That's 33 hours. But you think about the amount of hours you put in, that these young people put in all summer long. The coaches put in film prep. I mean, so a lot goes in it. So you just want to play the game. You're very proud to be a part of what is the great game of college football. We're even more proud just to be a part of to take this university on the road and who we are. And so now it's just let's play the game.
And Coach, just a couple more things. First of all, as you watched college football this past weekend, saw a few ejections for targeting. That's obviously a huge rule change for the game of football this year. What do you understand of the rule change, and do you think it'll have any impact on your season?
Well, I think it's going to impact everybody's season, but I understand the rule change, why it is. I mean, I know it seems radical to some, especially the traditionalists. You see some calls over the last weekend that you felt like could go either way, but you understand the safety is paramount for our players out there, for everybody's players. We don't want to walk out of a game and see our opponents' guys get hurt or our guys get hurt. So you want to be able to enjoy the game for what it is, which is so special, it's so unique. It's a rare game to play, and now I understand the rule changes because you don't want to see any needless injuries happen, and particularly when it comes to brain safety. I get it. I get what it is, and so it's going to take a little bit to change. I understand there'll probably be more complaints before it's accepted, but I think the change has to happen so that we can keep our focus on what is just the enjoyment of the game itself instead of just the maybe the unintended violence of it all.
Did it cause you to change any of your approach to camp? Did you have to reteach any fundamentals, or is it just more of an emphasis?
Well, I think it's an emphasis is what it is. So there's those little moments where you say a safety, tips the head of his crown a little bit, and with us, we don't have instant replay, so you aren't going to have the luxury of having the guy in the booth say, "Well, no, it's not that. It's just the penalty." This young man, like going back to the whole 33 hours. He could be losing a significant amount of time if he tips his head down a little bit. If the appearance of even being close to the head. So the game moves way too fast, and so we've had to tell our guys, keep your eyes up, your hands up, and as you look through the tackle, and to lay off those moments when particularly free safety secondary hits where the wide receivers going up the seams, vertical. That hey, when you could hit them, just make sure you're going towards the body. It's the midsection stuff. You do say things in the midsection, you're going to be okay.
And the last thing I've got, start with October 20th last year, going all the way through spring ball, fall camp, and now into game week. What's one word you'd use to describe your football team?
It goes back to focus. I mean, just even hearing you say that, just going back and flashing back to the moments. The assumption that I would say that we played with last fall as you began, coming off being, which is a very, nationally dominant NAIA team. There's probably games I know that we were definitely way more athletic. When you get into this Division II league, Division II play consistently, you realize is that there is no assumption. Everybody has as many athletes, if not more than you. And so there has to be a focus. There has to be a focus about every day and every moment you have to prepare for this game. I know a lot of people say, the season's long. I'd say I try to train the players to understand, no, it goes so fast. And, it's long. It'll be long. It's just the history that'll be told about you after every single game. When the end of that game's over, it's etched in stone. And you want to be able to say at the end is that you did everything that you could to control what you can control, to be the best you that day you could be, to learn as fast as you can from your mistakes from the previous week and play with all the passion and gifting that God enabled you to be. And that's it, then great. Let history let it be fun in your own memory. But we know that there was early on in that season a lot of regrets about how we prepared for a game, and it just took learning. It took a self-reflection and honesty. We had so many team meetings where we could just be honest with ourselves about what we need to do to keep cranking it up, never pointing the fingers. And so now as you come out ready for this next season, there's just a focus on what we have in front of us right now, and we know we only go as far as we can as a group. Not one person will do it for us.
Coach, you last season finished strong. Talking about how you just answered the last question, you figured out probably how to prepare for games a little bit better in that second half and went out and proved it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you earned some respect from the coaches in the league, picked third in the GNAC. Congratulations on that, first of all. And then what is your approach now with that change, with the season under your belt? Are you an underdog still, or now are you the favorite? What approach are you guys taking?
Yeah. I'd say there's two things. One, we always believe we're a circle game on everybody's schedule. But until we have perhaps what Grand Valley has established, there's no doubt you're an underdog. And so we've got a lot to prove, a lot to earn. And so we're just hungry as anyone else. Third's great to start off with. There's an upward trend. But to be honest, we care about the last poll, and we want to be the best in the country. And so our mindset is just, let's do what we can with today. And we've got enough. I feel like with the people we have with us now, and we've launched out now, and the season's going, we're ready to go, and we'll make do with what we have. In the same way we did last year, we didn't recruit any players in the second half of the season. We didn't change any coaches. We just found a way to make do with what we had, and so that's our attitude right now. We're proud of every person that works in this organization, proud of everybody who supports us, and we're proud of every team member we have, knowing that no one's an angel and no one's perfect. But if you're on this team, we're all going to get our hands dirty and make do with what we have.